Welcome to another edition of KitSZN. Yes, we are 8 minutes late, but no, we are primed and ready to go on tonight's episode. I've been chatting with my friend here, Fox, but tell everyone who's watching, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. It's been a long day running a marathon Saturday, so
Not envious.
Trying to get mentally ready.
Not envious at all. And that's not sarcasm, people. If you can't see me, I am straight up not envious in the slightest. I would never want to run again in my life. So have fun with that. Have fun with that.
Super envious. He's like, oh my God, I wish I was Fox.
No, I'm going to be chugging a few beers in St. Louis instead. So you have fun running.
Yeah, watching football.
Yes. For those who don't know, my brother is a fitness coach for the Michigan Panthers. So I'm making a trip to St. Louis. So, sorry, Madison. I can't get up there this weekend. Can't watch the Jaeger Cup. I'll have a few Jaegers instead to celebrate. Anyways, so we're not here to talk about that. Some away days, travel, some marathon fun, or some chugging of some Jägermeister, which support the Jägermeister Cup this weekend. Super excited. A little shout out there. We got some fun kits all across.
Yeah, we're all over the league.
All across this massive country. I always forget how massive this country is. And we got basically four bodies of water that this country encompasses. The Gulf, I'm not going to say what it's called now, Pacific, Atlantic, or the Great Lakes. 4 bodies of water. We got lots of teams, lots of geographical differences here. But before we get into all that fun stuff, as always, I want to give a big shout out to our patrons in John Hunt, Frank Anthony, Christopher Cohn, Harry Austin, John Fuller, Michael Foots, Joshua Duder, Noah Telford, Alberto Aguilar, Jeremy Churchman, Stephen Howard, Ryan Licata, Tim Knox, Anna Fresh 30, MOS, Kunal Patel, Olive the Hedgehog, Andrew Towsley, Mad Cat Peel, Ryan Smeltzer, and of course, Goals.tv. Lead up to our next fun little sponsor here, our good friend at Equipped Studios. And as I say that, please check out 2 weeks ago our interview with Austin from Equipped Studios. You will be sure that you are well equipped for your team season as well as your fan gear. He's rocking one of them right now. That is the Midnight Kit from West Seattle. So check them out. And now, any little words here before I get into my little ad read here, Fox?
Super comfortable kits. Buy them. Boom, done.
Done. But I still have an ad read to read because they are a sponsor and a good friend of the show. So give them some little bit of love here. So Equipped Studios. Do you want a custom kit designed for your team or supporters group by someone who's trusted by clubs in USLW and League Two? Trust me, as someone who's worked with them from the Brickyard Battalion, easy to work with. Execution is flawless, as well as this man endorsed earlier. Equipped Studios offers more customization options than the big brands, but for only a fraction of the cost. Their mission is simple: make professional quality uniforms accessible to all types of players, teams, and supporters, no matter the level of play. If you're less than thrilled with a new kit that your club has come out this year, sorry, Miami, take matters into your own hands and create an official supporters jersey with inclusive sizing up to 6XL. Equipped Studios is starting to become a popular choice with official supporters groups. Do you have a Sunday League team that needs new threads? That's their bread and butter, with their founder, Austin, being a Sunday League player himself. I think Sean injured a few times, if I can remember, in I think our previous interviews years back, he got injured doing so. The best part is it's all affordable. For just $40 a jersey, you get something completely bespoke with name and number customization included at no extra cost, and they come out really nice, the customization. Because you are a listener of this very show, mention the USL show or KitSZN, and you can get a friends and family discount, which brings it down to just $35 a jersey. You can buy 3 of the same jersey for some of these teams for 1. So check out the link below in the description and tell them that the USL show or KitSZN sent you. All right. Are we ready, my friend, to dive into tonight's first hit?
Yes.
You have a very serious face, John.
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now.
As you can tell, he's been a busy man, as have I. So, yeah, which, by the way, for not having an episode last weekend, I forgot to probably say Happy Easter to all those who celebrate. If you don't, hope you had a good weekend and lots of sleep. So, because someone did not, if you will. Anyways, tonight's first kit is going to Loudoun United. Okay, so you probably heard a lot about them. So I recommend you check out the USL shows. Here, actually, I'm going to pull it up here really quickly because there was an special episode from the USL show specifically about Loudoun United. If I can even find it here, doing a little bit of a plug here. I should have done this a little bit more ahead of time. But they had an episode of pause. There it is. I paused it. Ooh. Okay. So this plugin from the USL show where they're what is going on at Loudoun United to learn a little bit more on, what is going on at Loudoun United and their conversation with Danielle. So be sure to check them out after we rate Loudoun's kits. But we're not here for that fun adventure. We are here to talk kits. Fox is going to do something else, so I'm going to. Anyways, so we're rating tonight's Loudoun United's A Whole Lot of Red kit. As you can see, I popped in here into the shop to pull up the video. I didn't see a video of someone. But the size medium is sold out. It's done really well, and I even checked the larges. They're also sold out. They've done really well. These kits have popped out. They look really good. And honestly, if you're a Loudoun United fan, these kits look really good. Maybe not exactly what you had last season, which I think a lot of us would say were some of the best combination of kits.
Oh yeah, we were going to look at that. We were going to figure out because I would say Durham and Birmingham had probably the best home and away.
Yes, and
averages.
We did talk about that. I think the best team was actually Oakland. I think they ended up having the highest, if I remember right. And we didn't pull up the data right there. But what I will do here, let's see, how long is this? Yes. So what I'm going to do here is I have a little fun little video for you. So if we check out this little the jersey review video for Loudoun United, and I press the run button and close it out. So check this out and let's get into it. Nope, that's the wrong video.
I'm not quite sure that's the correct video.
Wait, this is on their website. What is this?
Yeah, but what year is the article from?
It doesn't say a year. Oh, no.
So that was their inaugural season. So that's back when they were Adidas. And see what they've come to now. See where they've been.
So let's appreciate this. Yeah, let's appreciate this a little bit, given their transformation from a Chattanooga FC, Chattanooga Red Wolves dress team to this, and this is much better. Little shot there at the 10 Chattanooga fans. So no video for y'all tonight on Loudoun United. I got the wrong video, and there's probably a video somewhere. I just tried to look it up. So, thoughts. What are your initial thoughts on this whole lot of red kits?
First of all, it does crack me up that this is literally what they named it.
Yeah.
I thought, like when I first saw that you had a whole lot of red kit, I thought that was just something fun you were doing. And then I went to the website. I'm like, oh no, it is literally called the whole lot of red kit. But I like it. I like that they're continuing on with the Pegasus kind of. Whoa, that is not the area you want to zoom in on.
I think it's zooming all over the place. I'm trying to just like normal zoom, but it's being weird. Okay, being weird.
Yeah, but to continue on with like the Pegasus in the background of their kits, kind of like pattern throughout, kind of hiding in there.
Right.
I like that they're continuing that.
Yeah.
As they should. Like I feel like that's building on to their authenticity and tradition. I want to see that again next year if there is a team next year. Because watch Tuesday's episode.
Watch it
of the USL show, because there's a whole lot of red happening in the back too.
Yes.
And if you're not in our Discord, join the USL show Discord, because it's been a week's worth of conversations.
Yes, it always is, and it's the most direct way to talk with us outside of our socials, because Discord's way more fun. Anyways, and yeah, as you're kind of talking about, Loudoun is starting to become one of those teams who's starting to form their identity. They used to be, how do I phrase this? Well, I said earlier, they're kind of like Chattanooga Red Wolves. They just kind of existed. They had red. They didn't really try really hard when it comes to on-field identity. And for a while, they were pretty bad. Recently, they started seeing an uptick in, I'm going to call it effort, to call it generous. And I started seeing a little bit more thought and input brought into their kick game. And you're seeing an improvement here and last season. And it's kind of transcending onto the field a little bit more outside of some of the issues that, kind of alluded to about a little bit earlier. But you're starting to see that effort coming through. And you see it here in the kits. And I'm starting to get them to be like, sorry, Richmond, that red team when it comes to the championship, right? In the championship, when I think of a team who wants a good red, I still prefer last year's pinwheel kit. But that red is starting to become their thing a little bit. I can't really think of many red teams on top of my head in the championship. Even I know Indy has red. It's not the primary. This is theirs. So I give them credit where credit is. They're being innovative with the red. I just don't know if this year it hits. So with that being said, I'm going to hop right into our scores here. As you see down below, Fox and I, same scores, I think a little different vibes.
Different conversations, though.
Different conversations. So when it comes to this whole lot of red kit, for the most part, I think its design aesthetic is a little mid-table to me here. It's right in the middle of the pack. It's a solid 3 for me. I think it just doesn't catch my eye as much as I want it to. I want to, with the cuffs being white, like stand out amazingly. I'm so happy that they went with like a white instead of like a dark red, which I've seen some teams do instead. They leaned it into the white. So I like that overall look of it. I'm always 50-50 on red kits. My wife always says I look good in red kits. I always tend to end up liking a red kit in person, but yet I can never have that initial like, hey, I want this, or like that is visually appealing to me from a red kit, and it's hard for me to do that. So that's the vibe there for me for why it's a 3 there. The authenticity and tradition, as we kind of talked about, is something they're starting to do a little bit more. especially with that Pegasus being thrown in, that pattern. But I still give it a 3. It is a little bit too abstract overall for me to fully get that pattern. That's why it's not higher for me as well. But its overall visual details and, more importantly, the execution of this kit, I think is spot on. I think it's a solid 4 there. I think this looks sharp. This looks good. You're going to look good in this kit no matter what you do, even if I may not visually say it's up there on my list. This is a 4 for me. But then it's innovation and impact. Even though, yes, I did point out earlier that the mediums and larges are all sold out. You can say that's some impact or maybe some supplier issues. I still give it a 3 when it comes to innovation and impact because a lot of people have forgotten about this kit already. And I think I have a reason for that. So it is a 3.25 overall from me. This is a solid mid-table kit that looks really good, and it's a whole lot of red.
It is a whole lot of red. Yeah, we're actually kind of in the same boat. But the only difference I had, so design and aesthetics, it's not ugly, it's not bad. It's I don't know. There's nothing special about it though. Like it's very mid. It gave a 3 from me. Authenticity and tradition. That's where I gave it a 4 because, like you said, we're doing this last year. It's a part of their badge. It's becoming a part of their their kit culture.
Yeah.
The rest of the culture is but their kit culture is banging. Visual details and execution, on the other hand, this is where I gave it a 3 because I felt like what you said about aesthetics, I put it into execution. I feel like the Pegasus going through is kind of muddied. Like you said, it's very abstract. I don't know if it's supposed to be abstract. Is it art? Is it subjective? Right. It is subjective. That's why we're here. Tell us why we're wrong. But that's where it got a 3 from me because it gets muddied inside there.
Yeah.
Last year's you could clearly like see the Pegasus going through, and you're like, wait, is that the Pegasus? Oh, that's so cool. This one, you're like,
is it?
There it is. You're like, okay. So it's a lot harder. Innovation and impact, I give it a 3 as well. They're going with the same thing as last year, but different. I still like what they're doing with it, but it's not as impactful. It's not as cool as it was the first time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So last year, it was very innovative. It was very impactful. But now when you do it again, it helps the tradition. It helps the authenticity. That will go up.
The innovation goes down.
But the innovation goes down.
Yeah, it's a theory of diminishing return, right? Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And as you said, it's a 3, with your score, it's a 3.25. Sorry if I cut you off. And then with mine being a 3.25, this is a solid 3.25 overall from the team here. This is, as you said, it's a middle of the table. I keep saying middle of the table because it's the end of the European calendar soon. So I'm talking about tables. And this is just a middle of the road kit. It looks sharp, but it's not anything to run home about. Obviously, as we've seen here from the numbers, locals love it. So I think it works for a lot of fans. It just doesn't work from a kit collector perspective. And overall, this is I think a middle of the table value, especially for $85. This is a 38.24 kit value, which is middle of the road. It's number 30 on the season when it comes to its overall score. So, and we've done 46 this year, or do the math. We did 44 kits this season so far. So
yeah, that's about right for me. I'm okay with that spot.
Yeah. So it makes sense. So, but moving on to the next kit here, it's a little different vibes. Okay. So the next kit is a little bit of a little bit more clean looking. I'm gonna put it that way, and a little bit more mighty. A little bit more mighty in its overall punching above its weight. So next, we have here is the Mighty Crows kit from Minneapolis City. Now, before we talk about this kit in depth, honestly, I don't really feel like we have to go into full depth here because you can listen to it more here on our episode from back in February, I think it was, with
that's so long ago.
With Scott Menk from Minneapolis City. He had a great interview with us, and we low-key leaked this kit a little bit sooner than it was ready to be pre-ordered. So we might have caused that, which, speaking of here, if you check back to that episode, there will be a discount code for you, KitSZN followers, if you go to the episode. And for those who can't see what I'm doing, I'm attempting to pull up Spotify and remember what I had written down for that code. But so while I'm doing that, please be sure to check out our interview with Scott for the full design process of this kit specifically, and kind of what into it and the fan process for that. So without saying what I'm trying to find the discount code for all y'all, please, thoughts. What are your initial thoughts?
First of all, polo, bam, love it. Second of all, this is very Minneapolis City. It has the cool design, the lightning bolts going through it. It's very Minneapolis City. The white with the blue, whatever color it is, pink, going through, and then we get the black accents. Is very different. But then, like, when I see a white polo with the black accents, like the black collar, the black cuffs, I still think Minneapolis City. Like, I would sit down, like, is that a Minneapolis City kit? Oh, they got lightning bolts and stuff. Cool. So, like, but it still clicks with me that it is Minneapolis City before I even get to it. So, so KitSZN 25 is that 10% off code, by the way, for any of our listeners listening over the radios on your runs.
Yes. It is capital K I T, capital S, capital Z, capital N, 25, and you get 10% off. Should still work. I haven't heard any otherwise. So help us, help Minneapolis run pink team with this home jersey. And so help us do some of this fun content that we've been doing with these great people. So yeah, as you kind of alluded to, this is something we kind of heard also from a few teams at this point, right? We talked with San Francisco City about this. West Seattle said this as well. Teams are wanting, at least fans of those communities. I think two of the teams, San Francisco City and Minneapolis, are both fan-owned.
Mm-hmm.
Their fans wanted something a little bit more classic, traditional, and not so kit collection worthy. Yeah, and like wild. You know, we've all seen the Napolis, right? Produce 11 kits in a season, right? And just kind of go wild with the innovation or the attempts at innovation. So a lot of teams have been starting to revert back to a little bit of a traditional approach when it comes to kits. And Minneapolis does it right here. And for the most part, if you follow Minneapolis City, their home kits tend not to be the showstopper. To be honest here, a lot of the time they have just a white kit with either a sash, I'm thinking of you, David Bowie kit, or as we see here with this Mighty Crow kit, this has kind of been their MO from day one. Now, in saying that, this does look really sharp, and it's a stimulus kit, and I like the little pink sashes across it, the diagonal hoops. That's what I'm calling stripes now, diagonal hoops. And honestly, it just looks really sharp. And I think if you're going to be a player or if you're going to be a fan, you're going to look really good with this. And because it's sponsorless, per my understanding, you can rock this even just as a polo. And it's not too pricey.
You can just wear it to work.
$69. Yeah, it's only $69. So, like,
and you get
$6 off. Well, $7. $6.9 off.
Right. So you get some money off of it as well. So even better. So yeah, you want to jump into our scores?
Yeah. And I'll let you go first since I went first last time.
Perfect. So design and aesthetics, honestly, I give this a 5. Just looking at this is a sharp looking kit. Is it kind of wild and crazy? Yes. That's why I like it. I can see somebody disagreeing with me that it's not aesthetically pleasing, but I like this. Authenticity and tradition, 3. I can still kind of guess that it's a Minneapolis kit, but I would have to guess a lot. Like, so it's not, there's no crows that are obviously there.
Yep.
I feel like when you listen to our interview, there is something with crows with it, and actually, it
Oh,
might say it in the little blurb on the side there, doesn't it?
no, it doesn't say anything about the Mighty Crows.
Okay, so yeah, so it's something that's screaming off. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
show that it's the crows, that it's them. Visual details and execution, though, again, it's a 4 for me. I still think everything looks really well done. The white sleeves kind of throw me off. Maybe if they were black sleeves, or I don't know. Just it's just something execution wise that I can't pinpoint, but I can't give it a 5.
Yeah.
Uh, innovation and impact, though, is a 3. We're not going to remember this in a couple years, so it's not going to be that impactful. And it's a classic polo. I really like it. It's a good looking kit. Again,
Yeah.
this is something that like I wouldn't mind owning. And if you're a Minneapolis fan, definitely I would be picking it up real quick. Like if
I
this is
want
my
to pick it up.
squad.
I want to pick it up, and I don't have a Minneapolis City kit somehow, and I've been following them for years. So,
Well, yeah, they were that team that we were like so excited that they're finally in the USL, so we can talk about it on the show and like get the kids to talk about it on the show and all that stuff. And
you know,
I don't think either one of us own a kit yet.
I think I used to, and then I got fat and Zoom-tight. I used to have a Minneapolis City kit, and then I got a little bit of happy relationship weight, and I got too
Yeah,
fat for it.
yeah.
So,
Stimulus is a little taut.
which they even acknowledge on the right side. If you're in between sizes, like I am, I'm like a medium large. I'm somewhere between the small and the medium, and also a large. Should have had a
Depending on
large
brand.
kit, depending on brand. Yes, to the equip, I could fit a small and also a medium comfortably. It makes no sense. So yeah, sorry if I interrupted you. Finish your
No.
last points there.
So yeah, so that got a 3 for innovation. We're not going to remember it. So yeah, so it's a 3.75 from me.
Nice. Yeah. And for me, I kind of have similar sentiments, a little less high on the scores. As yeah, that 3.5 overall for me. It's still a 5 for me when it comes to aesthetic. I would rock this all day. All day. This will be a great polo in great kit in my collection. I'm a sucker for polo collared kit. And it just looks, I don't know, it looks fun for me. It's something that it is a bit minimum, as Taylor once famously said. I could rock this with a pair of jeans and it would look really good. That's for, at some point I'm going to like just quote that somewhere on the things like Taylor, I'll rock out with a pair of jeans. And that's just kind of the vibe I get from this, and I love it. It's simple.
That's going to be our next T-shirt.
Next T-shirt, yes. It would no. It should be like this fits with a pair of jeans or something like that.
It's just a white T-shirt with the words.
That's it.
I can wear this with a pair of jeans.
Yes, perfect. And this kit kind of does that, it. But that's kind of the beauty and the simplicity of it. Yes, it is simple for a lot of reasons that we've already kind of highlighted. But for me, I like that. I am simple when it comes to polos. Obviously, it's not all the kits in my collection. If you follow me, I have a bunch of Ballard crazy kits. So, but when it comes to everyday wear, I love kits like this. So 5 for me there. But in terms of authenticity and tradition, like Fox said, it's just a white kit is normally their thing, and you can't just own a white kit as kind of your identity. Yes, they have usually a sash, which a sash or a lightning bolt, something that they've started to do a little bit more. I think even from their NPSL days, they've always kind of had that sash, or at least that vertical, that diagonal elements. And this kind of does that as well, just not to the same effect. So I gave it a 3 there. When it comes to visual details, while it does well when it comes to to its overall design and aesthetics for me, there aren't a lot of details in this. I think it looks sharp overall. That's what's saving it. But there aren't, well, honestly, any details that we kind of look for. So it's a 3 saved by how well this is done overall. So it's a 3 there. And its overall innovation impact, like Fox says, it's another one of the mini collar kits it's not collar, white kits that I've seen from Minneapolis. And this is in my collection. I'll be happy. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be out and about trying to find this ownership from that community. So it's a 3.5 overall from me. Fox's 3.75. We did a 3.63. Now, however, what saves this kit, and also a little small critique that I always kind of have here, but I never really know with Minneapolis, they didn't use their normal crow badge.
Yeah, they keep going back and forth between their script badge.
I honestly love the script, but my point still remains, I still prefer their normal kit. Their home kit. They should have their normal crest. I love the script, but that's just my vibes, and I will rant every team about that until the day I die. So that's my little pet peeve there, but it often didn't affect the score that much. However, where this kit is saved is its value. Given the relatively, I say, small jump compared to Loudoun at a 3.63 overall rating, but it's only $69. It's at 52.54. Now, however, I want to do a little bit of math here to see how it would look if you apply that 10% discount that we have down below at KitSZN 25 and see what the score would turn into. It would turn from this 52.54 to a 58.37 hit. That's a 6-point jump. It's almost a perfect correlation between the 6.9%, $6.9 discount on top of the kit value store. So all that to say is, if you want a great value kit, and this is what you consider a great value kit, something you want to pick up, use our code down below at KitSZN 25 down below. So yeah, and also learn more, as I say, as we wrap up Minneapolis here. As I said, please check out our interview with Scott Mink from Minneapolis City. This thing right here. Yeah, Fox's face is no longer on the screen. Check out that interview with Scott for a more detailed analysis with the creative genius or mastermind, creative mastermind that is over there at Minneapolis City. So, moving on to our next kit here, we are going to, speaking of interviews, we're going to, again, we mentioned our interview with Austin from Equip Studios earlier in the show. Well, tonight, we are going to take a look at, two of the kits that we talked about in depth last week. So we'll try to keep our conversation brief on all the details, but we'll keep our scores, pretty.
We'll talk about why we gave the scores, but we're not going to give too much prior talk because we've had an entire episode dedicated to
4 kits, pretty much.
4, yeah.
6, technically.
Yeah, 6. That's right. I'm wearing this. Well, if we're even more honest, 5, because 2 of them are essentially the same,
but they're also different.
But they're different.
Yeah.
Watch the episode.
So, yeah. Just watch it. It'll make way more sense there. But tonight, we are rating one from each, the Junction and the Rhodies. So, but up first here is the team that's existed 1 year sooner, and that's West Seattle Junction and their Harbor kit. Now, this kit, as we talked about last weekend, and literally what we just talked about with the Minneapolis City kit and San Francisco, people have been clamoring for a little bit of a more traditional kit.
Mm-hmm.
And with this Harbor kit, this was that for West Seattle.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, this looks like a clean kit, but it is what it is, right? And I think that is all you can really say about this kit. I think it looks sharp. You're going to look great in this kit. It's a lot like a polo, which, again, we are massive fans here on the show. Color kits everywhere. But this is what it is, right?
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite kits, and I actually get the honor of owning this jersey. It's one of my favorite kits that I own. I wore this to work, and I had so many compliments. It just looked good on me, but like you said, this is a clean classic kit. We could talk about uniqueness and stuff like that. The score's not going to be perfect, but this is a perfect kit to me, if that makes sense. Like my score's not perfect at all,
No.
but this is a perfect kit for me.
And
I guess we could.
Yeah, and I think to that little point right there, I think there is a difference between a fives club kit that we rank as a 5 and a kit that we feel is a perfect to us. And those two things are very different. And that is, I think I mentioned this in years past. My favorite kit was one of my favorites was the Vermont Green from years ago. It wasn't a perfect 5, but it was my favorite kit of the year. Or Ballard with their Stevie Shaw kit. I love that kit. Was not perfect. Almost was for me. And like this kit, at least for Fox, as he's alluded to, has kind of eased into that category, as being one of those kits that just looks perfect, right?
Yeah.
And I think their explanation's kind to hint at that a little bit. So I'll let you go first. You already started since you actually own the kit as of right now. I am a little bit slow at picking mine up. So tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I'll just jump into my scores with it. So when I came down to design and aesthetics, this is a perfect 5 for me. Everything looks so well put together. The fact that they did the white pinstripes to go between the two colors just makes everything pop, and it makes the shields going down the shoulders pop off. The badge pops off with everything. The white detailing makes all the other colors look so much more bold. And everything design and aesthetics wise, that's a 5. It's just so perfectly laid out and everything. Authenticity and tradition, that's the hard part. I gave it a 3. It's something that they're going for, but I can't. They've been there a year before. Their jerseys weren't really anything to write home about last year.
It was a map kit, if you remember.
Yeah, it was a map kit, and it's like, so how do you get more traditional or more authentic to West Seattle than a map of West Seattle? So it's a hard bite, but if they continue on with like clean classic kits, boom. But at this second, like I can't sit there and scream like, that's the West Seattle kit. Yeah, if you take that badge off, it's just a really nice polo. Visual details and execution. Okay, good. Yeah, I gave it a 5. I was looking at a different score. I'm like, there's no way I get that a 4. Oh, yeah, it's a 5. Because again, everything is so well put together with this. It's like even the sponsor. I know we try not to mention sponsors because usually they hurt them, but like even the sponsor is fit on there well.
Yeah.
So like Oh, and go back to the last picture. And just this little detailing. So if you look at the top of the collar, of the inside of the collar, it has that pink. We talked about this, but that pink is to give a little shout out to the Rhodies.
which I love.
Yeah, they want it because we talked about how there's different identities. You mentioned this before in past with like how you like that like Indy 11. It's just the Indy 11W team, and then
Yes.
but with Louisville, we have Racing Louisville and Louisville City.
And you got to time together somehow, right?
Yeah,
You
so
should at least.
they should. Yeah, I mean, like I feel like Louisville doesn't honestly. Like, and
Yeah.
it's the same ownership. It's not even like they're two different ownerships or happen to play in the same city. It's the same ownership. I feel like they work together. They dual brand stuff a lot. Like I have a Maker's Mark bottle that has both logos on it and is signed by both of our coaches.
Yeah.
But so like they work together, but like I like that they are strictly shouting it out in the kit. And then innovation and impact though, this could have been at Kohl's. And I say that with love. And I love Kohl's. My mom worked there for many of years as a part-time job after she would get off from her other job. So, but like this could easily be just a really clean golf polo.
Yeah.
That you would find if you took that Junction badge off, you took the sponsors off. It's just a really clean polo. So it got a 2 from innovation.
Okay.
The impact it might have might continue on. I hope it does. Honestly, if this was a long sleeve shirt and it kept the shields going all the way down on a long sleeve shirt,
Very Kappa like.
very Kappa, it might be even better to me. Like that authenticity. I don't know. That might have made it more authentic. Authentic. I like that word. I'm keeping it. Not authentic. It's authentic.
You can't even. Let's say you can't even say it again. So how do you?
Authentic.
No. Okay, there you go. You said it. You said it now 3 times.
There's authentic and authentic. They're very different things.
But what is different things is my rating compared to Fox's. Not sure, but my views. So Fox's 375. I also had a 375, and no, we did not coordinate that. So when it comes to me, as he kind of also said, when it comes to design and aesthetics, this is what I'm looking for. This is a solid polo. Like I said, my favorite kit a few years ago was that Vermont green polo, the gold one, their inaugural home kit. It's nothing but just a gold and green kit, or like a cream, like a cream and a forest green kit. There's nothing to write home about it, but I loved it. Everyone did. Same you even talk about with the Portland Hearts of Pine. Something just looked so aesthetically good, and there's nothing to write home about it. And that's what this chip was a lot like to me. So I think to me, this is a 5 when it comes to its overall design. The thought into the two tones of colors were both derived from the badge. Listen to the interview, which I think is a nice little touch. When it comes to authenticity, kind of what Fox hinted at, they don't really have a tradition yet. And yes, it hurts them, but also outside of their crest, which is a famous junction, one of those railroad crossings, or one of those like diagonal intersections, those pedestrian ones. That's where they get their name from. Not seen in the kit.
Yeah, the big crosswalk.
Yes,
but
those
like
open crosswalks that you see in like downtown Nashville, right there on Broadway. Is it? I can't remember. And it's what you see down there. Outside of that, you can't really see that in the kit. Now, when it comes to visual details, Fox gave it here a 5. I gave it a 4 here. And the only reason I say it's not only reason, 2 reasons why I gave it a 4. One, we know the pink is a shout out to the Rhodies. If you didn't know that, it just looks like a cool pink, which I think contrasts really well on the kit. You don't know what it goes for, and it's just one of those fun little details that like a creator gets to put in that we love talking about and finding. But if you didn't know that, you'd like, oh, this is just a cool pink outline in the collar. It does it point for having the walk all ways. It's a little they're saying there for West Seattle for the junction. Because a junction you walk all ways. A little clever wordplay. But outside of that, I didn't see any details on this kit. And then that's where I think I couldn't make it a 5. I think this kit looks sharp. And when I think of details, I like seeing little small things. So this is a harbor kit, right? Well, it's named the harbor kit. And, I didn't think we fully got into this, but we don't always know when the name comes out or the design comes out first. And if they're going to name something a harbor kit, I like to see nods to either some water, the harbor, like those little, what are they called? We saw them in the Oakland Roots kit. That pattern in the kit, like not supplemented. I'm drawing a blank here. Embossed, yes. That like embossed into the kit where like it's a detail, like as we saw in the Oakland kit. Let's emboss the Oakland Coliseum. That's kind of a cool little detail. We don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg or the name or the design. And I think that kind of hurts a little bit in my opinion. And that's why I couldn't give it a 5. That's just me though.
You know what? I'm going to poop on the names.
Oh.
I'm going to poop on them because I agree with you. I think this has to do with marketing. Now, if you go to the other photos of the players wearing it or the models, I'm assuming players, but they are at the harbor.
Yes.
But like you said, this shirt doesn't have to do with the harbor. They did the same thing with the next one we're going to talk about.
Oh, yes. The Moonflower kit.
With the Moonflower kit, because that was a restaurant that they were at. Yes. So like they named it after the marketing, not after the jersey. Like I feel like, I don't know. You're actually a lot better at making the names than I am. But like this could have had a different name.
Yeah.
And it meant the same.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I'm always curious to learn more about is what, having a name first and dictating a kit design. I don't know how well that works, or having the design dictate what the name comes out to be. And I think what you need is a perfect harmony of both if you want to get those details for me when it comes to like the Oakland Roots kit. They obviously knew they were going to create an Oakland A's inspired kit. They knew it. Mm-hmm. And they leaned into it with the design. Now with obviously League 2, League W, things a little bit differently when it comes to marketing. So I'm very curious. I might have to talk with Austin about that, see what his thoughts were on that. I might have some ideas on what happened, but I need to confirm them. But so given that, I also gave it a 3 for innovation. I could see it being high. This kit is well received. Overall, I think the impact and the marketing has been really well done. Our man Austin has been busy. I've been following him. He's been quite busy with interviews and a lot of people talking about, well, maybe all the kits at once, and this one's been lumped in with that. So, at least individually. So overall, this gets me a 3.75. With bots, it's 3.75. We got 3.75.
Weird,
right? But one of the things that we kind of talked about with Equipped earlier in the episode is the kit value. So one of the things that we say, Equipped kits are, relatively cheap and they're top quality. So this only being $75 and it's a solid 3.75 kit. This is a 50 value. I love how even that is. Like it's exactly 50,
Yeah, just boom, 50.
50.00. I love that so much. So this is a good bang for your buck when it comes to kits, and it looks clean. And as Spot says, you will get compliments as this looks good. So, but speaking of good equipped kits, I gotta get you into the next kit on today's episode, which is the I hit the wrong button again. Is the Moonflower kit from West Seattle Rhodies. Now, this one, as we kind of talked about in last week's interview, this one takes the petals of the already unique Rhodies badge and just expanded it.
Yeah,
and I think that's a clever idea there. Because like, why not use the work? And we've said this before for other teams. Utilize the work that you've done already in the crest, and just extrapolate from there, and just like work from there. Why do double the work when you can already utilize what you've already done? And this kit does it in an interesting way.
Yeah. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you said, like their badge is already sick. Take that flower, which already means a lot to the area. It's a state badge, right? Or state flower, I mean.
Yeah, the state flower, yes.
It's a state badge. Everybody has it. But and then utilize, and he didn't even make up these colors. That blue, again, watch the interview, but the blue is in the badge already. So this is just, and so is the pink that's coming from there. So all of this is in the badge color already, and it just makes sense. I love this jersey. It's easy to say. Like I love this jersey.
It's fun, and honestly, in USLW, flowers are the main thing right now.
It needs to be more than W. I will rock a flower jersey any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I mean, it just looks good, right? And we'll dive into the scores here as we talked a lot about the Junction kid, but the Rhodies kid, as we kind of talked about, this just looks really good. Now, like Gearbox, I only give it a 4 for overall design and aesthetics. It is not. It's only a 4 for me, and I can't give it a 5, so I just don't have a reason to give it a 5, and you'll probably find like 1,000 reasons to tell me why I'm wrong there. But I give it a 4 here when it comes to its design and aesthetics. But what I did give it points for is for authenticity and tradition. As we had said, when teams don't have a tradition as of yet, what is the best way to get some brownie points for tradition and authenticity? Use your crest. Use your crest. Use it. Or also use a statue from your city. I'm looking at Birmingham, Indy, Detroit. Y'all got pretty famous statues. Use them. So they use a crest here. So this gives me a 4 right there when it comes to its authenticity and tradition. I hope they stick with this type of motif and just trying to play around with it a little bit, either on the sleeves, still in the future, a little nods to it, whatever. I think continue with this motif. It looks really good. Now, when it comes to visual designs and executions, this is a little Easter egg Austin brought up to us last week, which I thought is just amazing when it comes to a little detail here. So if you zoom in on the crest, if I can get a good photo of it. Nope, can't get a good photo of it. Anyways, so if you zoom in on the crest, you'll see a little fairy.
Like the boat, not the mythical creature.
So, yes, a fairy, like one that takes you across the harbor, which is pretty common way to get to Seattle from West Seattle, because Seattle's right there in the Sound. And so when you extrapolate and enlarge this Moonflower kit, you see the boat everywhere. You can see it right here. there's the boat.
Yeah, right
It's
there next to the
right there.
logo.
And that's just a cool little detail that comes with, well, just blowing up a crest. Because you see there's a little bit of details and thought put into the crest. So I think that's just a clever little thing. I would have wished and they even say in bloom there on the back of the collar. I do wish Austin, if you're listening here, the back of the collar, it's pink, just like it matches the men's kit. Imagine if this would have been blue on the back collar, it would have tied it a little bit closer. I don't know if that was something that could have been done, but something to think about for future stuff.
That's
Anyways,
a good point. That
just
would have been
saying.
a nice like little like okay, we got the pink on this one, we got the navy on this one.
Exactly, especially since the navy is even out on the crest here for the Rhodies kit. And
Yeah,
on
it
the
would still
crest.
match.
It was still matched too. So, anyways, so I give it a 4 there, but and then the overall innovation, I gave this a 4 still. This is really cool what was done with blowing up the crest and enlarging it, and I think a lot of people will really like that. I wished there was just a little bit more that was with it that would have brought that up to a 5 for me in the overall innovation. But this is really well done. I do like this. It's a solid kit. I give it a 4.0 for me.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this, as you can see, both my score and everything I've said so far. Design and aesthetics, again, I don't know what you're talking about, like because everything fits well, everything looks well. It doesn't even like look blurry. Like
Oh yeah,
you know,
so
you
correct
get a
there.
when you blow stuff up, it kind of gets pixelated and stuff like that. But like, and I also like the like you see the model wearing it, or the player, I'm assuming, wear it, and like you don't see the design automatically. Like when it's sitting flat, you see like okay, there's the flowers, but like this gives it almost like a cool water flowing vibe to it. So like it is what it is, but it also gives a different look as well. Like I feel like that ability to do that is really cool. Maybe
Yeah.
my innovation should have went up because of what you're doing there.
For not
Authenticity and
changing scores
tradition.
on me.
I know I'm this close though, because my authenticity and tradition, I want to give a 4, and I feel like you made a really good point that they're utilizing the badge, they're utilizing what they got, they're utilizing the colors, they're utilizing the state flower, they're utilizing right now. I
You're
say
not
utilizing
changing
a
that
lot.
score. I know you're utilizing quite a bit.
Visual execution details as a 5. It's just like I know you can argue that it doesn't have like the small details or something
Yeah.
hiding in there, besides the fact that the badge itself does have something hiding in there, which then in turn makes the jersey have something hiding because they used the badge for the jersey. So, but it's a 5. Innovation and impact, it's a 4 for me because I feel like there could be something better coming.
Yeah.
Like this is something that's really cool. This is really nice for their inaugural season, but I could see something better coming, and that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And that's it's a really good design to Austin.
Yes.
Now it was really poorly made version, but I feel like I don't care which team that goes to either. But I do want to send my credit for it.
So yes, the thoughts gave it a 4.5. Mine with the 4.25 overall for the Moonflower kit. I will say I am excited to see what Austin is able to come up with next season. There from Equipped, because honestly, I think having a healthy rivalry, we talked about this on and off the pitch for Seattle between Ballard and West Seattle, will be healthy for both the designers and those on and off the pitch of those respective areas. And before we head off the island, they should be given the higher value of the kit store. And so it's still only $75. This is a 5667 kit value. This is solid. And if you had to decide between this and the Harbor, I would always choose the Harbor kit. Sorry, Moonflower, but if it's just for pure rankings, this kit is better when it comes to your kit value for your local closet.
That's the hardest and kind of weirdest thing about the show. I like that jersey better that we're looking at. I like the Moonflower jersey better. I would like to buy it eventually, but but I think I look better, and I think it's. I'm really happy that I own the other jersey, the Harbor kit.
Dude,
It's such a good thing. Like
that is literally me with all the Miami kits of the last few years. They're not high ranking, but I want all of them because I know I love that aesthetic.
I don't
But
know
like they're
how
not highly
Miami's.
rated.
Why? They're always highly rated for me.
Well, not as high as what we think. I think I rated that like that Tormenta kit from a few years ago, which was really well done. It wasn't as high as we thought it would be.
It's a 5 kit. Your opinion's wrong.
Shit. No, it's not on our list. It's not on our list.
No, it's not. It's not literally a 5 kit.
Oh.
I'm saying you're wrong.
Oh, let's see.
The kit itself is a 5 kit. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5.
Sorry. The La Cultura kit. Yes, you're right. You gave it a 5. I did not. A 4.5 from me. So, and I wanted that kit. So, funny how that works. I'm always I'm the negative Nancy when it comes to these rankings. We would have a lot more 5s if it weren't for me being so negative Nancy here. Even though I'm super positive about everything, I am such a dick when it comes to rankings. But
gotta be someone. Might as well be you.
Hey, one of us has to keep us in check a little bit. So, so speaking of keeping us in check here, here's the fun little video from Miami FC for their 1896 kit, their 25 alternative kit. Yeah, speaking of Miami. So sit back, relax. Check out this little minute video from Miami.
The Magic City, sparked by Julia Tuttle's vision and Henry Flagler's railroad expansion. What was once swampland, transformed into a booming city. This is 1896.
Alrighty, so that is the Miami FC 1896 kit. Now, my initial thoughts here, I've seen the release in the last 2 seasons from Sarasota.
It's a Sarasota jersey.
It's eerily similar.
That is a Sarasota jersey, except for they added a Miami badge at the top.
And they put the logo from the city of Miami.
Because take everything about this, move it up to the chest, and it's a Sarasota.
Yeah, and for those who don't know what we're talking about here, let me pull this up for you.
Yeah, pull up Sarasotas.
See what they're doing here. I pulled up the wrong one. Yes.
Because like when you looked at Sarasotas like last year and stuff like that, we're like, oh, that's an interesting kit. That's cool that they did something different like this.
They just changed just a little bit, actually, a little bit.
Don't they have a white kit? That was like essentially the exact same thing, but just white instead of black.
This is 2025, so this is the new one that got released with the later this season. Yes, this is the new one.
So we need to talk about that.
Eventually, we will. But to your point, I'm gonna pop into the last year's team jerseys and show you kind of what they've done. It's not there, so let me see if I can find a better link to show you some of the past kits. But to your point, this is literally a Sarasota kit with Miami flavor.
Not even much flavor difference. Just threw in the the badge, and especially because Miami does such a good job. Honestly, like the only thing that has ever kept me from buying a Miami jersey is shipping.
Yeah, same.
Which I'll never understand because they use FedEx, I think, and it's because they had a really good clearance sale. I was going to get a player name and everything, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't afford the shipping. The shipping put me over my limit of what I was allowed to spend on. I think it was like Christmas or my birthday or something like that.
Oh yeah. We had looked at that. But for those curious, Sarasota, they haven't changed in years. This has been their thing from day one.
Yeah. Like that white kit is the one I was thinking about at the bottom center.
Yep, this one right here.
Yep. Like, tell me that's not the one we're looking at, except for they moved because it's the same colors almost.
Almost the same colors.
It's like a pastel version of their colors.
Hey, here's what I'll say. Given that motif of what we saw in that marketing video, again, this goes back to my age-old question: what comes first, the kit or the marketing? And in this case, I think the marketing came afterward. It came afterward. I wanted to see a nod to the railroads. They mentioned the railroad.
Yeah.
So what about it? They mentioned the city. I can put like a little bit of a street grid into it. Yes, we know map kits are no longer a thing. But why does this not feel like a Miami kit?
This is not a Miami kit.
The kits of the past, the La Cultura kit, I can't remember some of the other ones that are top of my head, but like they were Miami. The Tormenta kits that they've done in the past, those were Miami. This also feels like Miami because I don't know what is going on in Miami. I'm confused all the time. Every time I see videos, I get confused by Miami. I've seen little city tours and such. Miami's such a weird vibe. This doesn't quite fit in with that vibe. I always used to give shtick to Inter Miami for not actually embracing, their colors. Miami's forgotten about teal. They're my favorite color that Miami has, and they've forgotten about it. This kit kind of epitomizes that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's just me. I know it's a city flag. It almost looks like the India flag. But I'm sorry. I wanted to see more from Miami. I'm a little disappointed overall.
I know. Every time I'm like, oh, sweet, a third kit or something special kit is coming from Miami. I'm mentally hyped, and I think this thing just shot hopes and dreams down.
And Macron does well, even with Miami. Just like they're killing it in the Canadian Premier League, even for the most part.
Yeah. Oh, Macron makes great kits. I don't blame Macron for this. I blame Miami. Somebody in the front office done messed up because this is not a Miami kit. So, is it my turn to go first or your turn?
I'll just go for it. This was a fan choice, by the way. I know that was Minneapolis. This was my choice. I wanted to talk about it. So,
oh my God, why'd you do that?
Because I needed to. Well, this season, we haven't talked about any of their kits, and that's one way to put it. We haven't talked about Miami this season, and Indy had. You know what? I forgot I was going to do this because we didn't have a show last weekend, and so the mind went out of my head. I was totally going to put in that 120th minute winner by Indy 11 in the Open Cup and play that as the first video of us into the episode, and then talk about this kit. But obviously, I had forgotten about that. So this was fresh on my mind because we've played Miami now twice this season already, and we've beaten them twice. Very different times, but I forgot about that. So yeah, this is my kit for the week. So you can talk first, and I'll
go. Design and aesthetics 2, authenticity 2. I'm being really, really nice, honestly. Visual details and execution, I gave a 4. Everything fits well. It doesn't look bad. It's not ugly. But innovation and impact, it's a 2 because it's a Sarasota kit. Sarasota has been doing this for 3 years that I can think of. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
2, but it's still like when I see
it's
it,
3.
it's a Sarasota kit. So it's a 2-5 for me, and I'm being super nice with the fact that they're like using the city of Miami like logo and stuff like that. They're using colors that do like when I see this, like it does make me think of Florida. Don't want that style orange, that style of green.
Right.
Like it does make me think of Florida. It does make me think of Miami, but not the Miami FC. Like
Right.
I need the areas embossed on the back. I need something that looks like a like a Tormenta that they had, but still, yeah, it's very disappointing. Miami, shame on you. How much is this?
This is $89.99.
God, $90 for a Sarasota kit, not worth it. You could buy a Sarasota kit for I think 50 or 60.
Let
Like,
me fact check you there because you
yeah,
might be
fact check it.
wrong because they're
Oh,
now with
okay,
Hummel.
it's Hummel. It's Hummel, so it might be nicer.
It's 80. It's 80. It's 80.
But at least it's the actual. So it's $10 cheaper, and it's the actual team that this team is trying to be.
So besides copying Sarasota, here are my thoughts on the kit. And so I gave it also a I gave it a 3 for overall aesthetic. I do always fancy a white kit with some colors. Oh, can't move the mouse. The mic. I give it a 3. I think the aesthetic looks okay. I like the white. I got to see it in person. It's indie, and I did like it overall. The vibe of it. I do like the 3 colors. As Fox kind of alluded to, I would have, and as I've already said, I would see a little bit more Miami centric, at least in a little bit of the details. It seems a little weak on that aspect. And honestly, I think if they were, especially given their home kits primarily orange, I would have loved to seen them go hard on the green. That's not something you see Miami in. At least Miami FC. Sorry,
Well,
the Miami FC.
And if it was that green,
Exactly.
I don't even know what to call this. It's a neon pastel.
Yeah,
green.
but it's Miami, Florida's green, right? And I wanted them to lean into it. If you're going to have an alternative like this is here, lean into it. Anyways, but then when it comes to its authenticity and tradition, I like the nods to the city of Miami and its flag. I think it's kind of cool that they did a little bit of the Miami crest, the city of Miami's crest. I've always said I love a city, like the actual city's crest. I think so many soccer teams should just take the city's crest and then just like run with it. My hometown of 2,500 people has a really cool little crest, town crest, and I love it. I could turn it into a soccer crest all day. But outside of that, I gave it a 2 for visual details and execution. I think something just looks weird about this kit. I feel like the Macron logo and the Miami FC, the crest itself, are a little high. I don't know if it's just me. It looks high. And added that the city of and there's nothing to this kit outside of the fact that it's the 3 colors for the city of Miami and its flag. I got no details on what the market.
There wasn't any, because this is what I always liked about Miami's jerseys is that they would have like the town name or like the area names.
Yep, and that's why we love the La Cultura kits because they did that, right?
Yeah, they've done that kind of multiple times. It's kind of what makes them them.
Yeah, because you want to because Miami is a weird place, and each neighborhood is unique, right? And you want to highlight those. So you got major Latino, Cubano, you got even the American influence, all kind of thrown into Miami, mixed in with the Florida-ness of it all. And you get something very unique, and you want to lean into that, and they didn't do that here. So, and then when it's Innovation Impact, it's a 2. People forgot that they released this. for good reason. And it's also a Sarasota kit. So it's not like they did anything impactful. Yes, it's different. But come on. It's way too similar.
Isn't it?
It's way too similar. Yeah. So 2.5 from me, 2.5 from Fox. And given that this is $90, its kit value is at $27.78. This is not good. Now would I get it? It's only €. Would I rock the hell out of this? Yes. But if you're a collector, I'm not actively seeking this kit, and I advise not to.
I will say, like, I know I gave it a 2 for like impactfulness, but this might be one of those kits that we'll see in like 10 years, like, oh my god, I should have got that. Who knows? Just because of how weird it is.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's like that. The what was the African team that had sleeveless jerseys? You know what I'm talking about too.
I do, yes, but I can't remember it at this point.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. It's like everybody's like, this is stupid. Why would you do that? And now it's like 10 years later, like, God, I wish I had that. So like,
I did it, right?
So who knows? Maybe in 10 years, they're like, oh, remember that Miami kit? Yeah, that was cool. I had that last year in the middle. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, that Sarasota kit.
Right. Or Miami just stops putting in any effort, and this is the best it will get for many years. So maybe you're right. Maybe it'll look good down the road. Who knows?
Yeah, this is the start of a really bad downward trend.
Hey, well, eventually they're moving out of Miami proper and going to Paradise, I think it was, or no, Homestead, Florida, right outside of Miami. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll hit the home stretch and end their kit dominance. That's what I'm going to say. So we're not doing it on the pitch. So that's it for tonight's episode. We also covered all the coasts, from the Florida coast to the Virginia coast to I'm gonna go with the Great Lakes coast of Minneapolis and the Great Mississippi coast, and then obviously
the California coast.
Yep, the California coast. Well, or you want to call it the Seattle Sound.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Wait, Seattle? They're in Washington. Anyways,
yeah,
the Washington coast. Same ocean.
No, the sound. Yeah, the sound. That's the bay. It's called the Sound. Hence why the Seattle Sounders. Anyways. So we covered all across the nation, but League 2 and W season is just around the corner. Might have to start doing 6 kits an episode. Because kits are popping up everywhere. Teams I know are popping out 3, sometimes 4 kits that we got to talk about. I'm looking at you, Des Moines.
Thanks, Des Moines.
And we have a lot of teams to cover, and there's a lot of stuff. And travel season is about to hit up for me and for this man, I can guarantee. So we might be starting to pop out more kits. So we got 53 right now, and there are a lot of teams and a lot of kits still to be released. We got 53 in our docket at this moment. And we've rated 61 this year already. We got 53 left to go. And currently, if you are keeping track at home, when it comes to the scores per league basis, League 2 is actually no. USLW is taken first right now, followed by League 2, Championship, Super League, and League 1. So, want to see how this trend goes? Currently, it's a 3.59 across the USL. So if you want to learn more about it, please stay tuned for our next episode. We will figure out all this stuff because, well, that's what we're here for. That's what we get assigned to do for you lovely people. So, as always...
Julian said, "Yo."
Oh, hello, right at the end. Hello, Julian. As always, if you want to help us, like Julian is, comment, like, subscribe here on YouTube, like I hear everybody say. And if you want to help us financially, you can help us down below, like these lovely patrons. And
if you really want to help us financially, I can send you my Venmo.
I'm not going to do that, but if you want to, I'm I won't say no. Also, shout out to our sponsors at Goals.tv, Equip Studios. And remember, if you like the Ford Madison kit, not Ford, my gosh, I got Madison on the mind for the Jägermeister Cup this weekend. Man, I'm not even going there. Why is it on my mind? If you like the Minneapolis City kits, please use the code KitSZN25, capital KIT, capital S, capital Z, capital N, 25. So, 25. So use that code to get 10% off on that Minneapolis City kit. So that's it for tonight. It's been a great time with you tonight. And honestly, we're looking forward to next week. Should be some good stuff, and there should be some fun action from this weekend's Jaeger Cup round 1 play, and a lot of fun kits will be out this weekend. So stay tuned, stay sharp, and always support your local club. So that's it for tonight. Anything from you, Fox? Oh, shoot! Yes, I almost dropped my favorite segment of the night. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, I am so out of tune here. Kit show off time, Fox. Show us what you got here.
I got the goalie kit from West Seattle Junction.
The midnight kit, right?
That midnight kit.
Yeah.
And these are super sweet. I love this. It is red, but it's like a neon red, so it almost gives like a pinkish look. This one is similar to their away jersey, which has the big X.
Yes. Yes. The Admiral kit, which is what you're talking about. We'll talk about another time.
Probably next week or a couple weeks.
We'll see. We got a lot on the docket here. But what I'm rocking is one of the teams that also released a kit earlier this year, as you hear that ambulance go by, is 2024's Lions Bridge fan kit. Actually, we actually rated this earlier in the year, actually, the 2025 version. But this is the 2024 version, which we honestly really, really fun. Appreciate shout out to Lions Bridge for the hookup. This one of my favorite kits. So, anyways, yeah, I almost forgot. So I can't have a proper KitSZN episode without a proper kit show off. I love the blue Spiral Tormenta vibe. Anyways, I love blue. So it's so good. Anyway, so that is it for tonight's episode. As I said, support your local club. Soccer's fun. So I'm so happy soccer season's back and we're back doing what we do. So
have you rated the battery kits yet? I feel like we did.
Ooh. I thought we rated 1. Here.
Get out of this.
Yes, we did rate 1 already, Julian. As Julian asked, have you guys rated the battery kits yet, or just another episode? We did rate them here, just so I can tell you what episode we did here before we head out here. Charleston Battery, we had rated their away kit last episode. So check out our last episode from 2 weeks ago. You'll see us talk about is what I dubbed the original fit kit. So I don't know if there's any other questions. So anyways, that's it for tonight. Please enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Safe travels. I know we're traveling. And we're going to enjoy a weekend. Y'all enjoy your night. See you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.